Welcome to Recap King. In this video, we will explain Rocky Handsome. This movie tells the story of a former Special Forces member who has retired from the military after an incident that killed his wife, and starts a new life by running a pawn shop. He seems concerned about a little girl, his neighbor who lives with her mother. One day, he becomes involved in a feud with the drug lord who kidnapped his neighbor's daughter. Can he save the little girl and return to his peaceful life? Let's find out in Rocky Handsome. Rocky Handsome tells a story of a man named Kabir who lives in a city in Goa, India. Kabir lives alone and runs a pawn shop to make ends meet. One day, a little girl named Naomi, his neighbor, pawned her MP3 player to buy nail polish. Kabir doesn't seem to mind at all about this. He shows little concern for Naomi by inviting her to have lunch at his house. He serves curry and fried fish which he cooks himself for their lunch menu. That night, Naomi finds out that her mother, Anna, is taking drugs with her boyfriend, and decides to go to Kabir's house and ask permission to spend the night at his house. Feeling sorry for Naomi, Kabir finally allows her to spend the night at his house. The next morning, Kabir doesn't find Naomi, who has left early in the morning. Naomi left a small note on the fridge and decorated Kabir's fingernails to express gratitude. On the other hand, a man named Dilip Sangakkar appears in pursuit. Dilip is a police officer from the anti-drug department who is hunting for a drug lord named Mantoo. It is known that Mantoo handles not only the narcotics business but even human trafficking and the illegal sale of human organs. In carrying out his criminal operations, Mantoo is assisted by the terrorist brothers, Kevin and Luke Fereira, and a professional assassin named Attila. One night, Anna and her gang, who is her boyfriend, steal drugs from Mantoo. Anna then hides the drugs she stole on the camera, which she pawned to Kabir. Kevin, Mantoo's henchman responsible for the drugs, then becomes annoyed and beats his subordinates, who he considers incompetent. When Kevin reported the theft to Mantoo, the drug lord was furious and slapped Kevin's bald head. Mantoo then gives Kevin 3 days to recover the stolen drugs and threatens to take his brother's kidneys if Kevin fails to recover the stolen drugs. Feeling threatened, Kevin then asks Luke and Attila for help to get back the stolen drugs. The next day, Kabir visits his wife's grave, and the deep sadness on his face can be seen. Kabir accidentally bumps into Naomi, and the residents surround her for being caught stealing on the way back to his house. However, Kabir just walked away, as if he didn't know Naomi. Seeing Kabir ignoring Naomi then made her sad. Kabir then meets Naomi at the convenience store, where she gets angry at Kabir for ignoring her. She then grabs a bar of chocolate and walks away without paying for it. Kabir then paid for the chocolates for Naomi. After that, Naomi asked Kabir for the MP3 player. But because Naomi could not pay with money, she then gave a card to Kabir in exchange for payment. Naomi said that the card was her lucky card. Naomi asks Kabir to keep the card well as it can protect him from harm. Naomi then revealed that she felt very sad when Kabir ignored her and didn't help her. She thought it would be better if she didn't have to be born into this world because no one cared about her. Naomi had been happy when Kabir showed his concern. But seeing Kabir, who had ignored Naomi earlier, she felt disappointed and thought that he was just like other people who never cared about her. On the other hand, Luke and Attila, who know that the person who stole the drugs is Anna, then rush to her house, where Luke then tortures Anna so that she will tell him where she hid the drugs. However, they were surprised that Anna's daughter, Naomi, was there and witnessed the brutal torture that her mother had to endure. During Anna's torture, she unknowingly reveals the location where she hid the drugs. Luke and one of Mantoo's henchmen named Viju then rush to Kabir's pawn shop to find the camera that was pawned by Anna. However, their actions were soon noticed by Kabir, who had just arrived. Kabir tries to have a good talk with Viju, who insists on taking back the camera pawned by Anna. Kabir says that Viju can bring the camera after paying the payment. As Viju refuses to pay for the camera, they get into a fierce fight, but Kabir can easily defeat Mantoo's henchmen. Kevin then calls Attila and asks him to hand over the phone to Kabir, where Kevin tells Kabir that Naomi and Anna are his captives and that Kabir must hand the camera over to his henchmen. Kabir tries to save Naomi and her mother, but the car carrying them travels at high speed. After returning home, Kabir gets a call from Kevin, asking him to deliver drugs to Mantoo and promises to release Anna and Naomi soon. Wanting to save Naomi and Anna, Kabir complied with the request. The next day, Kabir rushes off to deliver drugs to Mantoo, where he asks Mantoo to immediately release Naomi and Anna. Hearing this, Mantoo was confused because he didn't know about them. On the other hand, Kevin turned out to have contacted the police to raid the location of Mantoo and Kabir's transaction because he wanted revenge on Mantoo, who had humiliated him. Not long after, the police arrive to carry out the raid. Mantoo tries to run away, and Kabir chases after him. But then, Kabir was caught by the police. Meanwhile, Kevin, enraged by the humiliation he received from Mantoo, decides to kill him and become the new drug lord, which he does without hesitation. On the other hand, how shocked Kabir and the police were when they found out that Anna was lying dead in the car's trunk, with all her internal organs removed. Kabir was silent as the police interrogated him regarding the case. The police wonder if Kabir is involved with Mantoo's plot. But if so, why did Kabir want to capture Mantoo? Dilip and his partner then search Kabir's residence and are shocked to see the body of one of Mantoo's henchmen inside Kabir's apartment. They finally discover the identity of Kabir, who runs a pawn shop in the area where he lives. Meanwhile, Kabir, who saw the lucky card given by Naomi, looked devastated, and he decided to save Naomi. Kabir then incapacitates the police and immediately escapes, carrying a flash drive containing Mantoo and his gang information. Dilip finally arrives at the police station and finds out that Kabir has run away. He then checks the CCTV cameras and is very surprised to see Kabir's fighting skills. Dilip rushes to investigate Kabir's background and finally finds that Kabir was once a special forces member whose fighting skills are very great and quite respected. Kabir never fails in carrying out his missions and is famous for his brutality in killing his enemies. However, he decides to retire after his pregnant wife is killed. At that time, Kabir took his wife to check on the baby's health condition in his wife's womb. But Kabir has to go back into the hospital as something was left behind. Just then, a truck hits Kabir's car, killing his wife. It didn't stop there. They showered Kabir with gunfire, but he managed to survive. Turning to the present, after Kevin kills Mantoo, Naomi is seen being carried by an old woman to a place where other children are being held captive to be killed and their organs removed. Kabir begins to investigate Mantoo's gang and locates Naomi's whereabouts. With the cell phone clues given by Kevin beforehand and incapacitating the gangsters involved with them, Kabir finally finds out that the person who is known to be in the business of selling organs is Viju. They tell Kabir that Viju is often in a club. Kabir goes to the club and immediately interrogates Viju. Under threat, Viju finally tells Kabir the location of Naomi's whereabouts. But then, Attila comes and shoots Kabir straight away. The two of them then got into a fierce fight before Attila ran away. Kabir tries to follow Attila and then meets Kevin. Kabir was getting ready to fight Attila, but he realized that he was shot in the stomach. Not long after, Dilip and the police came to the club and were about to arrest them. Kevin and Attila immediately fled. But before leaving, Kevin gives Kabir a cell phone. Kabir doesn't just let them go. He then stole the car and rushed to follow where Kevin went. However, the pain in Kabir's stomach was becoming unbearable. Kabir then gets a call from Kevin saying that he will kill Naomi and sell her organs. Hearing this, Kabir became even more furious and determined to find Naomi as soon as possible. But he had to treat his wound first. Kabir then barges into the drugstore and steals some needed medicines. After that, Kabir returns to his apartment and performs an impromptu operation to remove the bullet inside his body. After Kabir finished treating his wound, he turned on his laptop and checked the files on the flash drive he was carrying, which contained information about the drug factory run by Mantoo and his henchmen and where they had been hiding. Kabir then gets a call from Dilip, who informs him that Naomi might still be alive and offers Kabir cooperation to kill Kevin and his gang. But Kabir refuses the police offer as their goals are different. The police want to catch the drug lord, while Kabir wants to kill him. Elsewhere, Attila is seen taking care of children whose organs will be taken. Seeing Attila's injured forehead, Naomi got up and put a bandage on his forehead. At that moment, Attila was touched by Naomi's sincerity. Meanwhile, Dilip and the police, who were looking for Naomi's location and found a drug kingpin, managed to get information about the mode of drug trafficking that uses children to not be suspected. After knowing the information, Kabir finally found the location of the drug factory and saw Luke, who was telling the children to pack drugs. One of the children seemed to have fainted because she could not stand the anesthetic she was constantly inhaling. Kabir then walks around the factory and finds several bodies with their internal organs removed. Seeing a little girl about to be his next target, Kabir immediately saved her and shot Luke's henchman, killing him. Hearing gunshots, Luke and his henchmen rush to find out what was happening. However, Kabir quickly beats them all. Even Kabir tortures Luke in retribution for what he did to innocent children he has been taking advantage of. Kabir then saves all the children there, though unable to find Naomi, and asks them to leave the factory immediately before burning the factory and Luke inside. Kabir then calls the police to pick up the kids. Elsewhere, Dilip and other police officers managed to find another location where children were being held by an elderly woman. But they didn't find Naomi there, which turned out to be her being taken somewhere to do surgery to get her organs removed. Kabir finally manages to track down Kevin's whereabouts, who asks him why he cares so much about Naomi. Kevin then said he had killed Naomi while showing a container that preserved her eye organs. Kabir immediately became angry and said that he would kill them all. And he really did it, brutally killing everyone who was there. While trying to retrieve the container, which is believed to contain Naomi's eyes, Attila suddenly arrives and destroys the container. Kabir and Attila then engage in a fierce duel because they have great fighting abilities. However, Kabir was still able to outperform Attila and overthrow him. Kabir then chases Kevin, who is about to run away in a car. He then shot the car until it caught fire and killed Kevin, who was in it. When Kabir prepares to end his life because he is devastated by Naomi's death, suddenly Naomi appears. Naomi turned out to have been saved by Attila before the operation because he felt sorry for Naomi, who was nice to him. The eye in the container belongs to the surgeon Attila had killed while trying to save Naomi. Kabir is eventually caught by the police, but Dilip allows Naomi to come with him. Kabir asks if they can stop at the convenience store, where he buys Naomi a backpack and school supplies, along with her favorite chocolate. Before leaving, Kabir hugs Naomi tightly, and Naomi thanks Kabir for caring for her. The moral that can be learned from this movie is that maybe we will lose the most valuable things and the people we love in our lives. But never lose our conscience, because that is what makes us whole human beings who will not stay silent and do various ways to save innocent people.